This was the third reporting mechanism held by the UN on the decade of people of African descent. I went as one of the representatives of IDPADA-G. So I didn't go in a personal capacity, I went as the representative. And the aim was to report to the UN on what was happening in Guyana. We had 4 reports, only two or three I think were seen because of the amount of reports that they had. All of them are going to be up on the website, but mine spoke particularly to the government actions over the last year in relation to the people of African descent and whether the government had done anything at all in relation to the decade. I think everybody heard the government's response, very hostile, very personal, very ad hominem. They attacked the messenger without dealing with the message, but I can understand that because they couldn't deal with the message. The fact is the government has done nothing at all. Despite their commitment to the first decade of people of African descent, they've done nothing. They've not adopted the program, looked at the program, submitted a program. They've done absolutely nothing. And I think they wanted to mask that fact by getting personal in their attacks. And the content of the report is completely accurate. I think last year you were kind enough to have me on your program in which I just gave you some data in relation, some disaggregated data in relation to government allegation of contracts. And as you know, very little, if anything, has changed. The number of stone quarries remain the same, the gold licenses remain the same, the distribution of contracts in the health sector remain the same. So despite the publication of this data, the government has adopted no policy whatsoever to address that imbalance. The one area in which there has been some movement is they awarded, I think, 2 contracts to 2, I think it might have been women of African descent in the offshore area, and that was after pretty strident criticism that they had not awarded a single offshore contract to anybody of African descent. But other than that, none of the other areas in which we provided disaggregated data on the biased allocation of the resources of this country, was there any action or any policy put in place to address it or redress it? The UN has a system where they have a body or a team of experts, and reports can be made by individual countries to that team and to the various mechanisms that the UN has set up specifically to receive reports from non-governmental organizations, civil society, in relation to the decade. And I rather suspect that IDPADA-G and other organizations will be looking at using that forum to report what's going on in Guyana.